Hot Water Review. Mother-son road trip movie is sweet but overly familiar. Ramzy Bashour's feature debut centers on a mother-son duo consisting of Indiana University professor Layal, Lubna Azabal, and 19-year-old Daniel Zolgadri. From missing her sister and aging mother in Beirut to attempting to teach unengaged students, Layal is under quite a lot of stress. Her already frustrating life is further complicated when Daniel is expelled after getting into a fight that puts him in the hospital. No other schools in the area will take him, so his only options are to not graduate or to move in with his father, Anton, Gabe Fazio, in Santa Cruz and complete his studies there. They tensely agree on the latter and set out to meet Daniel's dad halfway in Colorado. Of course, even more obstacles arise when they are actually on the road, including sketchy motels, aggressive hitchhikers, and a power outage that makes Anton unable to drive Daniel the rest of the way. And yet, each of these disasters helps Layal and Daniel grow closer and learn more about one another. By the end of the film, they have each gained a new understanding and respect for each other, making for a monumental final decision on what their futures hold. The film gives us a strong introduction to Layal, angrily chomping on clementines as she attempts to kick her smoking habit. There is a relatable, and sometimes hilarious, exhausted rage simmering under her surface. Who can blame her for losing it on one of her insufferable students demanding to redo a presentation she rightfully got a D on? I only wish the film leaned into that prickliness a bit more. While she snaps at Daniel occasionally as it stands, it almost seems too afraid to give her too much edge for fear that she'd end up being too unlickable, instead of trusting that Azabal's pure charisma would keep us on her side. Given the right vehicle, I firmly believe she could successfully walk a similar line to Rose Byrne in If I Had Legs I'd Kick You. The same can be said for Daniel's character. Instead of grappling with more complex behavioral issues, the film goes a cleaner, easier, and ultimately more predictable route. Of course, Daniel is really lashing out. He's simply misunderstood and trying to protect the little guy. Zolgadri does a nice job with the material he has too, but he's not given much to play with. His character falls rather flat, and while there's nothing wrong with subtlety, I was craving a larger moment of emotional catharsis to showcase his range. It's challenging to fully buy into either one of these characters, considering we don't get much background on their relationship. We're told that Daniel has been held back in school several times, but there's not much expansion beyond that. The dynamic with Anton starts murky and gets quirky in a way that does feel altogether authentic. A problem with a small, intimate film like this that's fueled by emotional resonance. Azabal and Zolgadri have a natural chemistry that elevates the charming but thin script. But without more context about their past, it never comes off as truly lived in. Azabal and Zolgadri are both gifted comedic actors, and the film is at its best when it leans into the humorous beats. From the awkwardly funny moment of Layal and Daniel getting annoyed at their motel neighbors having loud sex to the sweet, silly bonding activity of doing tongue twisters to the innocent mischief of giving each other temporary tattoos, these scenes are a breath of fresh air that lean into specificity. I only wish that the drama felt as precise and singular. There are interesting themes alluded to, like when Layal expresses quippy disappointment that Daniel can speak Arabic, but the cultural element is explored beyond a surface level. As someone from Indiana, I was perhaps selfishly hoping that would serve as a more integral aspect as well, but the setting does come into play in a significant way. For a road trip movie that traverses so many states, the lack of focus on place feels like a missed opportunity. Don't get me wrong, the cinematography is nice. Who does like a stunning sunset and classic diner? But it all ends up feeling slightly generic. The film has moments of real poignancy, like an unexpected scene between Layal and the eccentric but caring Sasha, Dale Dickey. But ultimately, the whole thing is a bit too formulaic and convenient to leave as deep an impression as one would hope. The journey in Hot Water is far from the worst you could take, offering a smooth, pleasant drive with some pretty sights. You just might not remember too many of the details the moment you step out of the car. Hot Water premiered at the 2026 Sundance Film Festival.